All right. Good evening. Good evening. Good evening. This is D. Leonard Hughes. I am the president of D.L. Hughes Personal Development Institute. It's a pleasure to be coming to you where you are, saying this is the day that the Lord have made. Let us rejoice and be glad. This is a Personal Development Institute webinar. It's not really. It's open to everybody. But sometimes I understand that church people come in think it's a whole church platform. It's more personal development. Of course, with Christ based, Christ kingdom principles. And we're so excited that you have, let me see who's here. So excited that you have joined us on this wonderful Friday. My mother's on. That's Dolores McRae. I think my Aunt Betty's on too. So we're just happy about what's happening in the business of changing lives through changing mindsets. Again, changing lives through changing mindsets. I'm lecturing tonight on He's Dreaming Through Me, or understanding your dream world. We spend about a third of our life sleeping. Altogether, I think in average, we spend about 25 years of sleep and 6 years or more spent dreaming. So our whole life, it's about 25 years of sleep. Sleep is very important. Even if we go to the Bible, there were many divine interventions, supernatural interventions to dream. Now, a lot of mine, I consider mentors and grandfathers in psychology. Sigmund Freud was one whom I love dearly. Hey, Carolyn, he didn't really understand. I didn't say understand. Well, in a way, it was an understanding about supernatural interventions through your dream world. It's very important. I deal with issues that you don't hear people dealing with all the time, issues that have made you wonder. A part of your life, a third of your life is sleeping. You dream every night. I may get a little ahead of myself. You don't remember. Usually, the only dream you really remember is the awakening dream before you get up in the morning. So we want to awaken some things, and then we want to help you understand dream interpretation. Okay. So much to cover. So much to cover. I don't know how much I'll be able to cover. I may have to go. Usually we're on for like, excuse me, 60 minutes. I may do part one, part two. It depends on the flow. Just keep it. My sister Beverly's on. Pastor Jackson. She's on. If you dream that you're different, I don't want to get to that yet. I want to talk about. Scientists estimate that we roughly dream 3 to 6 dreams in one night. Around 90% of these dreams are forgotten in the following morning. But don't ever say, "Oh, I don't dream." Yes, you dream. Your subconscious mind never sleeps; it never slumbers. You're always dreaming. You just don't remember your dream. And then we have something called REM, rapid eye movement. I'm going to talk about that. That sleep happens about 90 minutes after you fall asleep. Your eyes are still moving. I don't want to get to that yet. Dreaming is a thinking process. In fact, it is continuation of your thoughts from the day. The chatter in your head that goes on all day long continues as you drift off to sleep. And once you enter REM, rapid eye movement sleep, when dreaming takes place, those thoughts continues in symbols and metaphors because it cannot express in words. So what you've been doing all day, at night, you're still doing it with images and imagery. You're still doing it. And somehow there are some dreams that I want to talk about tonight that I believe that are supernatural inventions, and throughout the Bible, if I may say, throughout the Bible, there were people that receive supernatural interventions in through dreams. Their visitations came through dreams. I don't want to get into dream interpretation. I don't think I'm going to get into that. That's going to be for a part of my webinar in April. That's going to deal with a lot of in-depth stuff. That webinar will go for $199 per person, about an hour and a half hour, 45 minutes of course training in personal development. You will not experience the joy of life, the peace of life, understanding life, loving life, abundant life, until you understand who you are. I want to talk about something else. I'm going to get into the dream thing, but being a practitioner and Christian psychologist, I'm very serious and very concerned. I'm going to come back to them. I'm going to still deal with dreams, mental health issues. 1 out of 5 individuals deal with mental health. Doesn't mean you're crazy. Doesn't mean you need to be committed. But what is issue? There's something. There's a trauma. There's something that you've gone through, and sometimes trauma doesn't come right away. Sometimes it can be 3, 4, 5 years. For some people, it's been 10 years. And then mental health begins to affect their lives. I think sometimes when it takes a long time like that, it's a build up that's why once you've been through a traumatic situation, it's very important that you, on the process, doing the process, it's very important that you process it properly. Because if not, it can turn into mental health where you need therapy, a practitioner, and even at times you need medicine. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with going to psychologists, and then they can refer you to a psychiatrist. I'm a part of the American Psychology Association. But there's some people, and in mental health and dreaming and helping people, I realize you can't help everybody. You can try hard, but as a coach, as a personal development coach, it's just like what it is. We're coach on the sidelines. We give you the plays, but you have to play out. Same thing in basketball. Same thing in football. I even shared on this week, I have a morning wake up that I do. If you'd like to be a part of that, when I send out motivational, inspirational issues. And this week, I probably going to be on it for a little while. I've been sending out mental health. And one of the mental health persons that I dealt with this week was Dr. Martin Luther King, that dealt with mental health very seriously. Before age 13, he tried to commit suicide twice throughout his life. With everything he was going through, being in prison and the dogs and the war, he dealt with mental health. Even his staff would try to get him to go see a psychiatrist, but because of the stigma of mental health during Martin Luther King time and what the general public would think, he never got the help that he needed. But he understood. Let me find this. He understood why it happened. So in dealing with, let me find this. In dealing with these situations, give me a second. Give me 1 second here. I've got to find this. Let's see. I may have to go to this. Let me go here. Let me go over here. So, okay, here it is. Thank you. The stigma of mental health isn't new to Black community. Dr. Martin Luther King reportedly had severe depression during periods of his life and refused psychiatric treatment, even when urged to seek care by his staff. Unfortunately, that scenario continues to be common today, with African Americans not seeking mental health care because of the stigma. There's mental health issues even in church among Christians. Oh, how can you be a Christian? That's stop it. People don't think like that. Just because you're all right, you went through something that you're all right. And you remember 1 out of 5 people have mental health issues. So we get 5 people in the room, that we'll see what happens. But Dr. King said, I will be a physical and psychological wreck. I have to reorganize my personality and reorient my life. I've been too long in the crowd, too long in the forest. Our lives begin to end when we become silent about things that matter. Then today, I talked about Beethoven. He also dealt with, on my morning wake up, he dealt with mental illness. This renowned composer had a variety of illness throughout his life, even though he was deaf. I talked about, it goes to show the power of the mind that God has given us. I talked about Joseph Rosario. He was a blind golfer that won many tournaments in his time. Then we have Beethoven that could not hear. So what caused him to compose? It was the mind. People say, well, Dr. Hughes, why you always talk about the mind? If you can tell me something else that everything originates, and I talk about that. So I'm going to be talking about mental health as we go, but I know tonight we're talking about, you got to push past mental, you got to have mental toughness. We all have to have, because this is where the battle is. This is where the battle, and when you've gone through something, that's why I tell people, as a practitioner, as a psychologist, you can reach out to me and I can help you. I do it different from the conventional psychology and psychiatrist way of doing things, that has been proven to see results and help people with mental health. When I'm not going to tell you to stop taking your medicine, no, I'm just going to show you how to go within and get healed, and take you from dealing with mental health so much. Back to the dreams. We don't have the problem, except you don't have a problem except the one that is in your mind and you put it there. I talk about that all the time. If you were to sit down and think about it, the most problems are problems that we have put in our head, fears, worry. And this is why I can listen to a person 5 minutes and I can really tell whether it's real or whether it's just something that their reality in their head that have caused them to be in a manic depression or caused them to have the wrong perception, and their perception becomes a reality. Their reality doesn't mean it's the reality. So all of this affects you at night. I've got certain things I do at night, certain things I listen to that sets me right on the right frequency of sleep. Now, in the morning, if I wake up and I've had a dream that doesn't set right in my spirit mind, I'll write it down. If that dream turned out to be something really negative, I rewrite it. You said, what? I rewrite it. I'll write it out, but I rewrite the ending differently. You are a creator. You have the ability. You create the life that you want. Can I say it again? You look at me. You create the life that you want. That's why personal development is very important. Let's go here. Subconscious mind works on how it can affect our lives. To put it in simple terms, our subconscious mind is just like a big memory bank that stores our memories, our beliefs, and also our experiences in life. Your dreams come out of your subconscious mind. Your dreams come out of your subconscious mind. Knowing who you are makes a difference. I've talked to some couple of people over time. They say, I hate to go to sleep. I said, what do you mean? Because my dream world is so rough and I toss and I turn and I can't sleep. When it's that you can't sleep and you're tossing and you're turning, it's time for you to examine yourself and see what dominating thought is controlling you, that at night you're tossing and you're turning. You're stressed in the daytime. Your sleep is stress. Come on, somebody. You're miserable. Now, in the morning, now, again, let me say this to you all. This is not a church platform. This is a personal development. So I share things on a whole different level. It's a Christ-based platform, but it's not a religious, not a church platform. Let me say this. In the morning, there's exercises that I do. There's exercises that let me tell you something. People are so narrow-minded. Even when it comes to yoga. Church folks are so narrow and they have no idea. Oh, that's of the devil. Come on. Study something. Listen, every morning in my bed, I do a 15 minutes yoga exercise. And I got my mother doing it. She'll tell you, it does something. It brings you into unity with the Christ presence in yourself, because when you sleep, you've been all over the place. Your sleeping is off. Your rhythm is off. So every morning, I sit in the middle of the bed, cut on YouTube, and I do yoga for beginners in every morning for about 15 minutes, and it sets my whole day. It sets my whole day. Then I got a few other exercises that I do right in the bed. There's leg stuff that I do. There's breathing that I do. One of my mentors in Frostproof, when I was there a few months ago, they taught me about the breathing. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold it. 7. Release it. This releases stress. I do it at night. I do it in the morning, and I do it during the day, because all of this affects your dream world at night. Now, somebody said, oh, he mentioned yoga. I don't care about that. I'm not getting into it. I don't care about that. I'm giving you stuff that works, that helps you in mental health and helps you in your dream world. You got to meditate. And even when I'm doing my yoga in the morning, my mind is trying to go here, but I bring it back, and it helps me captivate my mind throughout the day. Because what you do, you get up, and your whole day is a constant, I don't know what I want to say, constant wheel that will just turn it. And your mind can't keep up with your body can't keep up with your mind. And when you come home, you don't know where you're going or coming. And so when you go to sleep, you're not resting. You're not resting. Men and women dream differently. The dream can content patterns of men and women differ because of the biologies of men and women differ. So, men and women, they it's a little differently. Let me see here. Then I talked about rapid eye movement when you sleep. About 90 minutes, your eyes are closed, but your eyes are moving. Then you have lucid dream when you know that you're dreaming. And I'm sure many people have had that. You know that you're dreaming. And I've seen dreams where I can just come out of it. And there's sometimes you don't. And you dream every night. Every night. There's 6 or 7 dreams that you have, but you don't remember. Most of the time, you only remember the awakening dream. Now, if there is a dream that have caught your psychic and you can't shake it, you need to write that down. I mentioned so much. There's something about writing. I tell folks, you gotta, what you think you have a problem, write it down. Put it on your side of your bed and go on. Okay? Let's see here. I want to do something. Let me see here. Because you got to understand something. 2 Corinthians 13:5 says, the Apostle Paul asked the Corinthian believers a question, or do you not realize about yourself that Jesus Christ is in you? Well, he's not really in me. I gotta get him. I gotta find him. I hate to say it, I'm sorry. Bishop Uri, glad to have you, man. I gotta get more God. No, you can't get no more God than you have. You can get more knowledge of him. And I'm reading. I'm going to come on and do a study. I like to say the lost years of Jesus. I don't know what I want to call it, but those 17 years, there was a lot of studying, a lot of gathering of information, or Jesus became the Christ. The Christ was formed in him throughout those 17 years. Even studied in India. He studied from, then he went back to Jerusalem and God began to use him in miracles because he had developed the Christ mind. And do you not know that Jesus Christ is in you? Well, how is he in me? Dr. Hughes, how is he in me? There's a mindset. You have the mind of Christ. So if we're fearfully and we're wonderfully made, and we're made, so we know how we're made. David said, Psalm 139, we're fearfully and wonderfully made. Then we know, okay, then how are we made? We're made in the image and the likeness of God. God became man so man can become God. You understand what I'm saying? He's in you. So I'm getting to a point. Let me see my other platform. When we're on 5 platforms. God bless you, Pastor Karen Murphy. That's my Jamaica friends and family. Have great ministry. And those that's in America, you need to get Pastor Leo and Pastor Karen Murphy from Jamaica over and let them minister to you. It'll be a great blessing. Bless you, Pastor Karen and Pastor Leo. You got to be aware that he's in me. Why have religion made it so hard? And people think it's so hard to get to God and to get God's attention. It's just a drag. It's so hard. I got to beg. Praying is not begging. Asking, it shall be given. Pray, you have to beg him. I told somebody, we don't have to stand in the gap for nobody. Jesus already stood in the gap. Only thing we have to do is take authority and believe it. Let me get back to my dream. The Bible has more than 700 references to dreams and vision. These suggest dreams are messages from God and from me. Now, again, a lot of the conventional, even I consider grandfather in psychology, Sigmund Freud, he didn't really talk about that to me. But dreams are thoughts. When you're dreaming, you're thinking, but on a much deeper and focused level than when you're awake. Think about it. When you go to sleep, the lights are off, your eyes are closed, and the world around you is shut out. There are no distractions. The mind doesn't stop working at this point. The mind still works. Whatever your stream of thought is, as you drift off, continues and begins to go inward, and your conscious walking literal mind slips into a state of rest, and your deep inner subconscious mind takes over. So your conscious mind slips into rest. Then your subconscious mind, which doesn't know reality or imaginary. Always remember that. Your subconscious mind doesn't know whether it's real or whether you're playing. That's why in certain areas you can't play with it, because you're trying to get to a certain level. This is what it's all about. You're trying to get to, I use Hebrews 11:1, that now faith and faith feeling, you feel like it's done, is the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things not seen. So I want you tonight to be able to not just sleep, but what if those of you that's been struggling in your sleep at night, I want you to begin to write down as I'm speaking, are you watching me? Don't you swipe. I want to help you. I want you to write down what's the plaguing, dominating thoughts that you're dealing with, whether it's lack, whether it's worry, whether it's fear, the fear of losing, the fear of failing, or whatever. There's something within your mind that's causing you. You got, as I often say, you got to identify the elephant in the room. There's something, because when you're dreaming, you're thinking with metaphors. That's what dreams are all about. Dreams are a combination of early remote memories, recent memories, and everything in between. Many of the images in your dreams come from your previous days or from previous weeks, known as dream lag effect. Okay? Now, first, I like what I said. I want to go back. We're fearful and wonderfully made. How we made? In his image. And it wasn't talking about the flesh. This is dust. We came from the dust. We're going back to the dust. So made in his image, it's a blueprint that's placed in our Christ mind or the superconscious mind of a blueprint. Your blueprint is your blueprint. My blueprint is my blueprint. You see what I'm saying? So your future is already blueprinted in the chronicles of your subconscious mind. Only thing you've got to do is develop yourself. And it's easy. It's now when it's just easy, when you start changing your paradigm and you start coming out of worry, you start coming out of fear, you start coming out of doubt, you start coming out of all of these mental states. Where you are now, it's a mental state. Where you were an hour ago is a mental state. Where you were 6 hours ago is a mental state. Where you were today at work was a mental state. Did you like it? Was it moving you towards your goal or pushing you away from your goal? How many mental states have you been on today? And how many mental states you were on that you didn't like, that didn't register with your divine self, that didn't register with the word of God and the word that you're speaking, because your word don't return void. How many? Because whatever that state of mind, when you go to sleep, it's there. And you're waking up. I'm coming. I'm getting somewhere. You're waking up 2 or 3 o'clock. What state of mind have you been in just this year? So I'm in a New York state of mind. What state of mind you're in? Change. If you don't like it, change the channel. Well, I don't know how to. Because when you begin to change in your transformation take place here, everything around you, everything within you begins to fight, because that old thinking wants to keep worrying. You've lived a life of worry. So it's like it's not going to happen overnight. The best way to eat an elephant is bite by bite. So you got to take something, you got to bite. And I don't believe in positive. I won't say I don't believe in positive thinking, but what I teach, I don't call it positive thinking. I call it God thinking. Nothing wrong with positive thinking. I call my philosophy, and I make it my business to be different. I don't transform. I make my own highway, because that's what God has designed. We conform to everybody else. I am a minister. I will mention that, but I make it my business not to conform to the regular, because people are religionized out. I talk to people, clients that don't even get into all of that, but they want to know. And when I said we're fearfully and wonderfully made, the question is, how am I made? And the answer, in his likeness, with the express image of God. He lives within us. Your dreams. Joseph was a dreamer. He had a dream. His dreams are so powerful. In Genesis 37:18, his brother said the dream was coming. I'm not dealing with that level of dreams tonight. I'm dealing with your dream world when you sleep. I'm very conscious. There's been times that God has spoken to me. God has showed me things in my dream. Now, I've learned just because you dream of somebody dying in a casket doesn't mean you're fit to die or your family fit to die. There could be a transformation. You got to be open. You got to be open. We just close-minded. So in your dream, it's important to learn how to interpret your dream or find something. Don't just ask anybody. Oh, I had a dream. What you think? They don't think, so they don't know. If you've had a dream that you just can't shake. Another time I did with deja vu, understanding that, man, this is how we're wired. This is what happens within us every day that nobody's talking about. I love myself. I love my life. Yes, I'm a God thinker. It's a battle sometimes, but I'm a God thinker. Don't try to hold on to your old way of thinking. And but you know what? When I got rid of my religious way of thinking, I began to see results. Religion thinking and church thinking can mess you up that you'll never get anywhere. They'll tell you, oh, if you become successful, you're going to lose God. They'll lose God. You won't lose God because you've been through so much that you got enough sense to know that if it had not been for the Lord on your side, I know I'm not. Sometimes I have to go that route because this is who I am as a minister, as a spiritual advisor also. The world would probably be a different place had these 9 people not slept. Then we give you 9 people that slept. God gave them a dream and it changed the whole world. Google. As a student, Larry Page had an irrational fear that he'd been accepted into Stanford University by mistake, which triggered an anxiety dream. Now, he was accepted by, who did I say, Stanford University, but it sometimes, don't ever say something is too good to be true. Nothing is too good to be true for you because who you are, who you represent, and knowing who you are. The blessings in knowing who you are. You don't know who you are, you'll never know God. You don't know you. You can't. When I found me, I found the presence of God within me, and I began to develop that Christ mindset, not religion, not organization, not denomination, but I began to develop the Christ mind. I'm on a roll of developing the Christ mind because that's where the authority comes. That's where the blessing. I didn't read it, but back in Genesis 1:28, the scripture said, and God blessed them and said to them, you got the blessing. He blessed them. It wasn't so much the Abraham blessing, it was the Adam blessing that went down to Abraham. And now we have the blessing, and it maketh rich, and it addeth no sorrow. Okay, so he blessed them. Did I have it? Okay, and God blessed them. Be fruitful, increase in number, fill the earth and subdue it, rule over the fish of the sea, the birds of the sky, and every living thing that creates. It says rule. It says rule. So Google, Larry Page, he imagined that he could download the entire web onto some old computer lying around. So he got up in the middle of the night to do some math. When he realized it was plausible, he took 2 years out of study to create what became Google, but it came in a dream. Now, help me somebody. And I don't know these folks' personal relationship with the Christ. I don't get into that. People say, well, all them folks ain't saved. You don't know whether you say that folks think you ain't got nothing. Stop judging people because they're not in your denomination or they don't belong to your church. God, the presence of God in truth is in many ways. Christians don't have all the truth. Muslims don't have all the truth. Buddhism don't have all the truth. Buddhism is older than Christianity, about 500 years BC. And Christ studied it when he was doing those 17 years. He studied a lot of Eastern mystic religions he studied. And it all helped him to develop the Christ. The sewing machine. A violent nightmare led to the humble sewing machine in 1845. Elias Howe dreamt that he had been captured by cannibals who gave him ultimatum. He had to invent a sewing machine within 24 hours or suffer pain for that. He failed, so they stabbed him repeatedly with spears that had a hole in the tip. Howe realized that he had to put an eye in the needle to create the lock-stitch sewing machine he always struggled to invent. He had this dream. DNA, until Dr. James Watson saw a spiral staircase in a dream in 1953. No one had developed the idea of a double helix spiral structure of a DNA. In fact, thanks to sleeping that fateful night, Watson went to win the Nobel Prize of Philosophy or in medicine in 1962 because he had a dream. You know, and Dr. Martin Luther King talked about a dream. He didn't understand Billy Graham. He had a little thing with Billy Graham because he said Billy Graham did not talk about racism. Well, Billy Graham told him, that's not my area. My area is salvation. Your area is as an activist. I like to throw that in because you got to know your area. This is my area. Miracles, signs. This is my area. But I'm different. When I go to do revivals, I want to leave a lasting mental impression in the lives of the people where I go. Because as a minister, as a spiritual advisor, I do go out and do, as they would say, crusades. People probably understand better at conferences. We have to be careful a lot of church language that people that's not in our community, they don't understand it. That's why I don't like using, I mention it, but I'm trying to say Christ more, because when you say God, there's so many gods, certain part of the country, they don't know who you're talking about. India has over 2,000 gods. But can I tell you something? All religions understand the Christ. And that Christ present is within you. So we had the DNA came because of dream. Einstein theory came relativity. It came as a dream. Frankenstein. Some 1816, teenager Mary Shelley visited the poet Lord Byron in Geneva. One night, she had a nightmare of a hideous man stretched out and then on working of some powerful machine showed signs of life and stirred with an uneasy, half-violent emotion. The next morning, she began writing the story you know as Frankenstein, the world's first sci-fi novel. Thanks to that dream, she became one of the most famous writers of all time. She dreamt of Frankenstein and she wrote it. I believe that there's a dream that God, in these days, I'm going to get to my scripture in a few minutes. I'm going to get ahead of myself. The structure of the atom in a dream. Niels Bohr saw the nucleus of the atom with the electrons spinning around it like planets going around the sun. He saw this in a dream. He had a gut feeling. That's important. You train your senses. There's times I have a gut feeling. People saying God said, God told me that, God told me. I don't know that. He didn't talk to Jesus that much. He didn't hear Jesus like God said, God said. Even during the 17 years, we don't have a lot of writing on it. Jesus was developing knowledge. He grew in wisdom and stature and with favor in God. I did the structure of the atom, right? Alrighty. Also, Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde. Robert Louis Stevenson had long had the idea to write a story about the idea of personalities affecting humans. and after racking his brain for a plot, had a dream, and upon awakening had formulated 3 scenes that would appear in the strange case of Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde. His wife Fanny stated, in the small hours one morning, I was awakened by a crisis of horror from Lewis, thinking he had a nightmare. I awakened him and he said, English, why did you wake me? I was dreaming. I had awakened him at the first transformation scene. Another lesson, never wake a sleep author. He might be busy writing a classic story. So Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde, that came from a dream. Remember the movie Misery? When asked where the inspiration for King's famous 1987 novel came from, he revealed that, I got my stapler, he revealed that based on a real life incident, but that it came to me in a dream. In fact, it happened when I was on a Concorde flight from UK. I fell asleep on the plane and dreamed about a woman who had a writer prisoner and killed him. Skin fed remains, her pig, and goes on his skin around. So that's how we got the movie Misery. Came in a dream. People, even animals, dream when they sleep. Though not everyone later remembers what they've dreamed, most people dream about their life experiences and concerns, and most dreams incorporate sight, sounds, emotions, along with other sensory experiences like smell and taste. During REM sleep, rapid eye movement sleep, the body and brain go through several changes, including rapid eye movement, fast, irregular breathing, increased heart rate to near waking levels, changes in body temperature, increased body pressure, brain activity. Let me say this. Another important thing is at night, watch what you eat. After 8 o'clock, I do not eat. It's said don't eat after 6. I haven't gotten to that point yet. But I don't eat after 8 o'clock. It takes you 2 hours to digest food. How many times we just stuff ourselves? Not saying I don't be hungry. 11, 12 o'clock, I be want to eat a whole cow. But I've learned to just get some lollipops or something, or just some water and a piece of bread, and that's it. And I feel better. Then when I get up in the morning and I do my meditation and I do my yoga and everything, it sets me just right inwardly. So whatever happens outwardly, it doesn't bother me. Because outwardly it's temporal, it's going to change, things change. But when you've got it together and you're fortified on the inside, I don't care what happens on the outside, doesn't matter. Okay? So watch what you eat at night. It's after 8 o'clock now. I will not eat anything. I'm hungry, but ate about 5, I think about 4 or 5. I'll drink some water because sometimes you think you're hungry and you're not. You're thirsty. And then I say when you get up early in the morning, drink a glass of water. Because after the 8 hours, you have your body is dehydrated. Same way if you go 8 hours and you're awake and you don't drink nothing, you get dehydrated. So that's why first thing in the morning, I would drink a bottle of water. Okay? One of the principles you should be aware of, I don't want to get into that yet. I wanted to share, you got to just believe you can do something. The Wright brothers didn't know they could fly. They fantasized themselves doing it. They just believed they could. You got to believe you can do it. You got to believe, act like you're doing it now. Man, your imagination is the workshop of God. You're imagining all day long. As I said earlier, you've had state of minds even today, worry. And it's a battle. But you gotta wrestle with it. We don't wrestle against flesh and blood. But principalities and thoughts, because that's the only way we can communicate is in thinking. So when there's as they would say, warfare, and I don't do a lot of devil talking, because he says give no place, and I believe no place is no place, and some folks would argue with me because they want to talk about it. They want to talk about Jesus. They want to talk about the devil. They want to preach about Jesus. They want to preach about the devil. And it confuses the people because folks don't know who's doing what. Is it God doing this to me? The devil doing this to me? And it's what we call duality. It's what we call duality of belief. Duality of belief, because you got, I'm just saying, I don't do that. I don't do that. I don't talk about, I say that guy. I don't have no reason to talk about it. Okay. Psalm 121 verse 4 says, behold, he that keepeth Israel shall never slumber nor sleep. Your subconscious mind, where God lives and operates into the imagination, never sleeps, never slumber. It's always going. Here's a scripture I want to use. Job, I want you to write this down. Job 33, 14 through 18. For God does speak, now one way, now another, though no one, he speaks in a dream and a vision of night when deep sleep falls on people as they slumber their bed. He may speak in their ears and give you a warning to turn you from wrongdoing, to preserve you from the pit that lies from perishing. So, and in Job 33, he lets us know that he visit that. Don't get deep in every dream that you have. You say God gave it to you, and you start blabbing around. Don't. You're too intelligent for that. Acts 2:17 says, in the last days, God says, I will pour my spirit on all flesh. Your sons and your daughters will prophesy. Your young men shall see vision. Your old men shall dream dreams. Genesis 40 verse 8. We both had dreams, they answered, but there's no one to interpret them. Then Job said, you can interpret. Your subconscious is way smarter than your conscious self. Even your eye perceives 10 million bits of data per second. Probably an amount of less than 2% of that data is perceived by your conscious mind. Where the data comes from? You have what we call race consciousness. It was a sea of thoughts. Just imagine a sea of just thoughts everywhere, and you're in that sea. That's why I tell people, don't battle with every thought, because every thought is not your thought. Some thoughts are just because of frequency. It's like years ago, the radio would you could be on the radio, another frequency would come in, and so it doesn't happen like that anymore. Same thing with us. That's different. You could be watching TV and with your family, and old man worry creeps and said, hey, how you doing? You haven't worried today. You haven't worried in 30 minutes. So it's time to worry. And you find yourself, okay, and you sit. And everybody else is enjoying the TV, and you're worried. And you go from worration to depression. People say, what's wrong with you? What's wrong? And you say, I don't know. You don't. Because the state of mind presented itself. Only time you should, I don't say worry, only time you should look at a problem if you're examining it to see what you can do to change something or dismiss yourself. One thing I often say, never allow people to be in a position of having to make a decision that includes you. They say, I don't know. I'm not, no. If you don't know, then you're supposed to know. If they don't know, you're supposed to know. Don't find yourself in the position that people battle in making a decision before you know. You have to make decisions for yourself. Okay. Let's see where I'm going here. Our subconscious mind plays a huge part in our life. Dreams are just electrical impulses occurring in our brain that taps into random images from our subconscious mind. Meaning sometimes our dreams are nothing but random images. Other times it is our subconscious mind trying to share with us something. Everybody in your life is a teacher. Every individual that have come across your way is a teacher. That means supervisor was a teacher, because it showed something in you where you need to be, where you thought you were. Something can irritate you, and it's nothing. It's a teaching moment. Realizing, okay, I've got to work on my temper. I've got to work on this. I've got to work on that. If you're sitting there and you need folks' approval, you got to work on that to get your own approval. God approves you because He made you. He kept you here through a pandemic. So Hey, Danita, I haven't. I'm so. Hey, Dr. Richmond, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I didn't see you there. Apostle Clark. My phone. I got several things going here on my laptop, iPad, my phone, and so I don't know why the comments and stuff won't come up. Well, I have to go in and pull them up. Um, I said subconscious mind is like a big memory bank that stores our beliefs. What happens? And Mama said in 2020 she dreamed that she'd become entrepreneur of the year. In 2021 she did. Dreams. That's why you got to go to. I make sure my mind is clear. No worry, no fear, no anger, no stress, because God speaks in dreams. Let me say this here. I've noticed that I may dream of something. I'm looking at something. I'm looking at something that I haven't studied, but I'm looking at something. So every dream, most of your dreams you don't remember, right? Stay with me. I'm noticing something. Every dream you don't remember. You just basically remember the dream right before you wake up. So could it be because in your dream world, you have been in different parts of you? You've been in different parts. So could it be that deja vu is nothing but a printout of a dream that you had that you didn't remember? Something to think about. Now, I didn't really study that in psychology. I didn't study that in science of mind. I didn't study that. But it's something to think about. Could deja vu be a dream that you just didn't remember? Because you dream 6-7 times a night. And somewhere within your life, God's speaking to you through dreams. Now, don't take it overboard. He'll speak through dreams and visions. Again, don't become some spook and take it overboard. So, what are you saying? What are you saying, D.L. Hughes? Don't eat late. Again, don't eat after 8 o'clock. Shut it down. Get you some water. Get your Jolly Rancher. Get your lollipop. Get your popsicle. But shut it down. Because all of that affects your body. You see me? My wife brought a pair of pants out. I don't know where those pants are of where I used to be. And those pants were like, I said, are you sure those are my pants? I used to be 310 pounds. She showed me those pants. I said, you can get two and a half people in those pants now. You get 4 legs in one leg. And I had all of these other things. Listen to me. Had all of these other medical conditions going on. Shoulder pain, knee pain, a lot of other, and I was on 15 medications, and medications were the side effects of medication. I changed that. I only eat 1 meal, maybe 1.5 meals per day. Okay. I do my vitamins, I do my B12, I do this, but I don't eat after 8 o'clock. Because what you do, you keep clogging your body. Mostly just and you're eating because you're depressed. You're worried, fearful. So you're eating too much or you don't eat. You got to control that. Got to get control of your body so your body can rest. You say, well, I can't sleep. If you ate 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, greens, corn, you're not going to sleep. Doesn't mean nothing wrong. It just means that you're working against your body. You're working against nature. And that's why you got a crazy dream world. Oh, come on, somebody. That's, sometimes we really have to, realize this dream thing. Because we sleep, a third of our life is with sleeping. Okay? I'm trying to look at my notes here. Preparing to sleep, you feel yourself into the state of, I go because I believe strongly in dreaming and the power of your subconscious mind. So I don't know where my answer is coming. There's been times that my answer have come through my dream. You see what I'm saying? So that's why I make sure that I'm on a roll. I'm on a frequency of flowing and giving off great energies. Great energies. That's still spirit. Don't let those words throw you off. Don't be so religious. So with doing this, there's things I've got to do in my body to create a clearance in my mind. And those that's watching me, and you got conditions, you got sickness going on, you're battling with diabetes, you're battling with high blood pressure. When I'm out and I'm on the road and the miracle service, people say I need prayer for diabetes and high blood pressure. I said, no, I don't pray for those things, because that's wasting my time and wasting God's time, because the only thing it takes is you changing your diet. I said all the time, you are what you eat. A lot of conditions you've got because you're that. Get up in the morning. Get up. I get up. I go to YouTube, yoga for beginners, in bed. And I sit right in my bed. Yoga ain't no spooky thing. It brings you. And for a long time, I thought it was, because I had that old religious mindset. The yoga's of the devil. Ain't nothing being said. How can it be of the devil? There's no ritual. There's nothing. He said, only thing you're doing is bringing, because you're one. I and my Father are one. I'm one with him. My spirit is one. He that have joined to the Lord is what? Is one spirit. The world cannot change until you change your concept. As the old saying says, as within, so without. As within, so without. I may say things, and I have to say this because I understand religious people. They knock stuff, they run from stuff that they have no idea that can help them. The greatest thing I did is when I was in Frostproof, and the Nelsons taught me about breathing, how to breathe. And when you find yourself stressful, you're tight. You sleep at night, you're tight. You wake up, you're tight. Do you go to work, you're tight. You're at work, you're tight. You're tensed. So when you're tense, everything in your body gets tense. Lungs, liver. So it begins having to work overtime. Wow, this is good. So you have to do things that can relax you. Our dreams are full of information, advice, guidance, and even warnings we need to know about ourselves. Through dreams, we examine our current issues, behaviors, and our goals. We sort things out. We look at ourselves in a deeper light. We gain a clear picture of ourselves. Okay, I already covered that we should eat. They said eat before 5 or 6. I say before 8. Okay, they got a new robot out, y'all. I told y'all, get that book 2030 and what's going to happen the next 8 years. The robot is Xenobots, and they got her reproducing, and it's from an African cloud frog or something for which it takes a name. So I mean, that's why those that's in computer programming, that's where to be. That is where to be, because that's where AI, IT, that's where we head. I just got to throw that in. I know that there's good information that can. Hey, Nicole, I got a lot of people on that I ain't said nothing. Okay, if I don't recognize you first come in, because I'm not looking at that screen, I've got a couple other screens that I'm looking at. So if you missed the beginning of the dream, I want you to go back. So when you dream, write it down. Remember, I said a lucid dream is when you know that you're dreaming. That's called a lucid dreaming. REM, rapid eye movement, it happens about 90 minutes after you get into sleep. That's why don't eat late, because you eat late, you're not going to be able to see if it's a God dream or is it a dream. Is it a green cornbread dream or is it a God dream? And I believe that God, he said it in Job 33, that he'll talk to us in the night with dreams and visions. So much information can come to you during the day. You got to be sensitive to the spirit. And I said again, you must be sensitive to the spirit. Amen. I'm going to ask tonight, those that every week we have people that give donations, and we appreciate it. I'm going to ask everyone to do a $33 seed on tonight. 33. If you want to give more, you do that. If you feel to give 1,000, you can do that. 10,000, you can do that. 1,000,000, you definitely can do that. But do something. Don't just receive the great teachings, because you do yourself an injustice in the spirit. It's like going to a restaurant. If you can't do the 33, there's no way I'm going to let a ministry feed me. Not just ministry, but information. People, I buy their books. I mean, I can see to them, but I buy their books. But it's like going to the restaurant. You go to the restaurant, you eat and you leave a tip. Amen. So if this information, this webinar, hey, Mother Belta, if this lecture has been a help to you, then I want you to do a donation of $33. This information, I know is valuable. There's courses, there's training that I do that costs a lot of money. There's one guy that trained in marketing, $15,000 an hour. Again, this is not a church platform. This is a personal development platform, but it's Christ-based. I am a Christian psychologist, but it's Christ-based. And I love talking about mental health. I love talking about the mind. There's nothing else to talk about. You tell people, say, why you talk about the mind so much? Well, you tell me something else that's the cause of everything, then you have to talk about that. And when it comes to the Christ mind, we're trying to develop the Christ mind. The information to give a donation is at the bottom, or you can do the Zelle. I don't have that number anymore because we're working on some other things, upgrading in other areas. But you can plant a seed of $33. Okay, that's all I'm going to say about that. Patrons, I'm going to be building a patron platform. I talk about that more in March. That I give more in-depth information in how to manifest and how to. Thank you, Mama. That's my mother, Lord. That's why you have so many nightmares. You eat till y'all stop eating after 8 o'clock. And I know that's a real challenge for some of you. Some of you headed to eat right. You said, Dr. Hughes, I catch you on the next round. I got to eat tonight, but I'll catch you the next round. I'm going to try. There's no such thing as a perfect time. Oh, I'm waiting on the perfect time. All times are perfect. This is the acceptable time of the Lord, the year of the Lord. That's something else I throw out the window. Oh, just wait on the perfect time. There's every time, all the time is perfect, because all the time, every minute comes from God. And you're living your future now. You're living in the present now. So there's no perfect time, because something always going to come up. Those that want to do business, start launching your business, entrepreneurship. Start launching it. Don't be afraid. What are you afraid of? You're afraid of people. What people gonna say that ain't doing nothing. They ain't doing nothing. I had to talk about that. Get with me. That's why if you do exactly what I tell you, you will see tremendous results, and you will follow a money trail. And also mainly it's developing you. You can enjoy life. I enjoy the scriptures even better and understanding when I realized who I was. Let me say that. Who I am. I know who I am. Thank you. Thank you. Everybody, you know who you are. I don't want to call anybody's name because I may forget somebody and say, well, you didn't mention me. Well, thank God for all of you that's giving a donation to the D. Leonard Hughes Personal Development Institute. My goal is to take this all across the world. And what I'm teaching Africa, third world countries, to get in there, I don't care, pull my sleeves up and let them know, if you can, as within, so without. Doesn't matter what country you live in, there's much success And this is what the D. Leonard Hughes Personal Development Institute, I'm building something to take into the schools, courses to take into the prisons. Why the schools? In school, they didn't teach us how to think. They taught us other folks' philosophy and the thinking of other folks, but they never taught us how to think. So that's why I believe that I have been, my highest expression of God is to teach in this area, to teach people how to think, because we have them, and church didn't teach us how to think. They did the scripture, think on these things, but they didn't teach us what is the thinking faculties, the mental faculties that he's given us to get what. Why did he give us those 5 mental faculties? Reasoning, will, imagination. I forgot the other 2. Why did he give that to us? Was it to be ignored? No, it wasn't to be ignored. It was to put it together with the Christ image, the God image and likeness, to get what you want in life. It was the garden that was in Eden. Okay? It was a garden that was in Eden. Okay? And now that garden is here. This is the Garden of Eden now. Right here. You put in what you want to put in it. And nothing has meaning in life until you give it meaning. That's why what you go through, I'm getting ready to go. What you go through, be careful how you label it. Be careful whatever meaning you give it is going to affect you. Hey, thank you, Prophet Darrell Keith Brown. Drink coconut water. I had some today. That's it. Drink that coconut water. Thank you, bro. That's one of my play brothers. That's it. Yeah, drink the coconut water. You gotta go on a health kick. Your body talks to you, but we don't listen. We just go on and we go on and we go on and we go on, and we do things against our body. Then we run to the doctor. We want to get healed. Then we got diabetes. From diabetes, you're on dialysis. You got to take care of yourself. Man, I keep water. Fiji water, the best water. I have it shipped in 3 boxes to 2 boxes. 2 boxes, 3 boxes every month. It's cheaper that way instead of buying it at the store. But Fiji water tastes good, hot or cold. I got some right now. Fiji gonna have to give me something. Yeah, Fiji gonna have to. They're gonna have to give marketing for marketing. I love what I do, y'all. I don't apologize. I love what I do. I'm the mind hacker. And I just want to see your life change so I can change your thinking. I can change your life. Okay? I went a little bit over, but I don't think nobody's disappointed in that. Hey, Danielle, I didn't see you there. Just everybody, all platforms. That's on here. We're on 1, 2, 3, 5 platforms. Now, over in my YouTube, I'm building my YouTube. I need y'all to do something for me. Go over to Darrell Hughes on YouTube, and I need you to subscribe. I'm trying to build, and I forget sometimes, but I'm trying to build my subscribers on YouTube. That way I can take it to another level. So just go over, pull up Darrell Hughes, and just subscribe and help me build my YouTube subscription for D. Leonard Hughes Personal Development. What you do for others, life will do it for you. Okay? Thank you all so much. I appreciate you. Thank you for tuning in. I'll be on next Friday, 7:30 East. I know people like, come on real often. I am. I'm working on some things. I'm working on some things that I can't really do twice a week right now. We've got businesses. We got STL, small, short-term leasing properties we're working. You got to build your life. You got to build your life. Can I say it again? You got to create the life you want. You got to do it. Don't blame nobody. You don't blame nobody. You don't depend on nobody. You take full, let me tell you something before I go. It's very important to take full responsibility for your life. As long as you're blaming someone else, you give them power. As long as you blame your ex-boyfriend, that means he still has power. He's gone on about his business, but he still has power over you. Okay? But when you take full responsibility, that sets you on another level. And again, watch your state of mind. What state of mind have you been in? Your state of mind, is it moving you forward or cause you to stand still? That's why I say, get the teachings. Let me feed your mind. The books I tell you to read, what to say when you say talk, what to say when you talk to yourself. Wonderful book. I'll tell everybody to read it, because inner self-talk is going to determine whether you be a victim or you be a victim. You can turn around, give high five, run around the church, but until you change your inner conversation. Now, does supernaturally things happen sometime like that? Yes. But then you're waiting for the next fix. I didn't get healed through nobody. I got healed because of the blessing. What I'm saying, and I'm not saying that because God used me in miracles and healings supernaturally. But I like to teach people how to walk in healing. My cancer healing came. I didn't ask 50 people. I didn't ask 20 people. I didn't ask 10 people. It probably just about 4 or 5 people knew what I was battling with. I never had cancer. I never said I had it. I was battling. But my mind was, I'm going to win. I wasn't calling everybody's prayer line to bombard heaven. Pray for me. No. I understood the authority of the believer, that I'm already. Can I tell you something? You already healed. You got to connect what's in the spirit so it manifests in your body. In every cell, every tissue, every atom, every neuron, everything, I command you to be healed. Because you're changing your diet, your mental diet, and your physical diet. You don't need diet pills. You don't need all that. Just change the paradigm. If you don't change the paradigm, you can go on a diet. See, my paradigm has been changed. I am at 230, about 239 now. I was at 310. Why? I did it. I went on a journey of developing myself. You have to do it for you. I didn't do it for nobody else, even though my mother and my wife would say, you need to lose weight. I did it for me. I did it for me because I realized that I want to live. The Paul talked about the gracious gift of life. I know it's not a church platform, but it's a Christ-based platform. Let me say that. But Paul talked about the gracious gift of life. Live here. And all of your living depends on your mental diet and your physical diet. Don't eat no more tonight. It's after 8 o'clock. Join with me. Don't eat. Get you some water, maybe a piece of bread. But don't eat no big meal. Don't do that. Don't do that to yourself. Don't go to Denny's. Don't go to TGI Friday. Just get some soup. It's after 8 o'clock. And as you get older, you see, and those, I'm just trying to help you. Those that got weight problems, you can change that. You can't wear shoes. Your feet are swollen. I'm trying to help you. Your feet are swollen. I'm going up too soon. Your feet are swollen. You can't hardly walk. Stop. Stop. Go on a journey to lose that weight. Change your lifestyle. Change your diet. It bothers me when I travel and I see people that's so big, they can't hardly walk, the shoes, feet coming out their shoes. And I said, don't they understand that it doesn't have to be like that? You don't have to be in obesity. You don't have, I wish I could find the pants. I wish I could find those pants. I'm going to have those pants to show you where I used to be and where I am now. And it's much better now. I feel much better. I was scheduled for shoulder surgery. Couldn't do that. I was scheduled for knee surgery. All that medication I was on. When I lost weight, everything changed. I canceled the orthopedic, I called him. I canceled the surgery. Everything changed. Everything changed. Now I just take my vitamins and from the the cancer battle, just take a hormone pill, and that's it. But not taking all the other. I'm just trying to help you. Okay, let's try it. If you're dealing with obesity and overweight, let's try it tonight. You can do it. I know you can do it. You know why? Because I did it. Man, at night I used to have honey buns. I had it organized on the side of my bed. Then while I was asleep, I could get my Jolly Ranchers. I could get this. I had the paper all ready. I was a mess. Had the paper just about right, so I wouldn't have to do a whole bunch of stop. Change the diet. Don't you want to live? I don't know why. I'm supposed to be off. But God used me in healing and miracles, so I guess this is a part of it. Come on. Come on up. Get that weight off of you. By this time next year, lose 100, 200 pounds. You can't hang with the people that love going to the restaurant. No, I can't. I'm not going. No. And if you do, just let them get all that food from the buffet and you just get you some soup. Because you're looking down the road when they have diabetes and all that, you'll be healthy. You got blood pressure problems? I was on 4 high blood pressure pills. Come on. Come on. Do it. Do it. What Nike say? Just do it. Lock that refrigerator. Get a timer and lock the refrigerator at night. You can't go in it between 10 and 7. I'm just teasing in a way, but do whatever it takes. Listen, I love y'all. Dr. Hughes, love y'all. I appreciate y'all. I'm D. Leonard Hughes. I'm president and CEO of D. Leonard Hughes Personal Development Institute. And I thank you for joining me tonight. Even those that's giving donations as we build this company. It's a company because I can't be all over the world, but I want to train people and train consultants to take this mind hacking teaching all around the world. Okay? Listen. Ease on down the road. Peace.